Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Today we are going to see sometimes where space exploration which are important. So we are going to start from important stuff from the 16th century. Let's start. The first telescope when it was first invented was called the Looker. It was invented by a man called Hans Lippershey, as you are seeing right now in screen, and he was a spectacle maker. So one day what happened was two kids came to his store and then they just took two lenses to see what happens and all, and they just took it out and they looked at a church symbol, and the church symbol, when they used the looker to see it, it looked so close to them, and they didn't know what this was right now. So they told it to Hans Lippershey, who then made the looker. The looker was the first telescope, and it was not really a telescope because mainly telescopes have tripods. This one didn't. And then later that century, Galileo Galilei invented the telescope. And this telescope was proper and it had a tripod. But Galileo's telescope was showing problems long term. So Isaac Newton invented the Newtonian or reflector telescope. The reflector works on mirrors rather than lenses. After the reflector telescope was invented, it opened up a new era of space exploration. After all this, in the early 19th century, after all this happened, in the early 19th century, people started building bigger telescopes like observatories. But before these bigger telescopes were built, people thought there was only one galaxy, and that was the Milky Way. They thought all the galaxies in our night sky were stars. After they saw pictures from their huge telescope, they found out there were millions and trillions of galaxies in the sky. And then let's go to the mid-19s. The mid-19s was the rocket age. In 1942, the Germans launched the V2, the first object to cross the Kármán line, or the line that separates Earth's atmosphere and space. And it's an imaginary line. Later, the Soviet Union also launched Sputnik 1, the first artificial satellite. And just a few years later, the first human went on his voyage to low Earth orbit. He was Yuri Gagarin, and the Soviets launched him too. And Sputnik was actually launched in 1958 and Yuri Gagarin in 1961. And in 1969, America sent humans to the moon. They were Neil Armstrong, Michael Collins, and Buzz Aldrin. But this was a huge accomplishment. And then in the 1970s, the Soviet started launching space stations, the first of which was Salyut 1. Then in the 1990s, this is when the Hubble Space Telescope was launched. So was the International Space Station. And then in 2006, the New Horizons probe was launched to do a flyby of Pluto. And now let's go to 2015. This is when the New Horizons probe made its successful flyby, and it took this amazing photo. Before all this was happened, not even the Hubble Space Telescope was able to take a proper picture of Pluto. This was the first time in human history that there was this of a clear image of Pluto. So that's it for today's video. Bye. See you next time.